Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. Today, we're going to continue building the Black family. Let's also talk about building the Black child. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unboxed. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Davis. So glad that you're joining us this evening. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. That's right, like, subscribe, and share. All right, we're going to jump right into this thing. For the last 22 episodes today, we have been talking about how do we build the Black family. We've looked at the Black church. We've looked at building the Black woman. We've looked at every aspect we looked at various aspects of the Black family and how do we build it economically, socially, etc. And I want to talk today and begin a journey today as we discuss building the Black child. That is so important. Please do me a favor before we get started. Like, subscribe, and share. That's right. Like, subscribe, and share. If you want to learn more about Unboxed, please make sure that you go into the description below so that you can see the various links on how you can learn more about us. You can also partner with us. We love to have you partner with us and support us as well. Please make sure you check those things out. Send any emails that you have with any questions to our email address, and please jump right in the comment section. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Building the Black child. Before the book Post-Traumatic Stress Syndrome came out, I was heavily influenced by a book that was written by Dr. Richard Williams, and that book is called They Stole It, But You Must Return It. I almost call it like the precursor to the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And Dr. Richard Williams, in the 5th chapter of his book, They Stole It, But You Must Return It, asked the question. He starts off the chapter by asking the question, how did white America try to destroy the Black child? White America tried to destroy the Black child by destroying his childhood. Let that sink in. White America tried to destroy the Black child by destroying his childhood. The child who does not have a childhood, while he is a child, can be more easily made into a child when he is an adult during slavery. The Black child was deprived of his childhood. A child without a childhood is a good candidate for becoming an adult boy or an adult girl when he or she becomes a man or a woman. I want you to catch that right now. Robbing Black kids of their childhood. And my grandfather's grandfather, which would make my great-great-grandfather, was a slave. And he was a younger slave when the Emancipation Proclamation went out. And I've always had this dream of getting to meet him. I wish that I could have talked to him when he was on his plantation. I would have loved to have told him about my life and about the life of his family. For some reason, I've just been fascinated with my great-great-grandfather. But yes, that's what you do. You take away a child's childhood. I want to read to you a story that is written in the introduction of Dr. Joy DeGruy's book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, that I think is really going to resonate. Is going to kind of help to set the tone for our conversation about how we build the Black family by building a Black child. Listen to this profound story. I'm just going to read it to you. When I arrived at the bank, I noticed there were lots of people in the line waiting to see a teller. There was a Black mother in the bank with 3 small children. The children were standing close to their mother, so close, in fact, that they were actually holding on to her legs. Occasionally, one of the children would become curious about something or someone in the bank and attempt to explore the object or the person. However, any effort to leave the mother's side resulted in a sharp verbal chastisement and a snap of her fingers to immediately get them back to her side. In the same line, toward the back, there was another mother standing in line waiting for an available teller. Only she was white. The white mother also had several small children close in age to the Black mother's children. The mother had her hands full trying to stay in line while her little boy wandered about, skipping, twirling, rolling on the floor, and asking questions of the bank security guard. The white mother did not insist that her children stand by her side. Instead, she tried to keep an eye on them and apologized to people in line who her children were annoying. I remember when I was a child, Dr. DeGru says, I remember when I was a child in a bank line or other places of business with my mother and experiencing the same phenomenon of watching the white kids play while my mother insisted that I stay near to her. I, Robert Davis, remember those experiences very well. And those of you who are watching, you remember those experiences as well. She goes on to say, watching the repeat of my experience, I wondered how the little black girl who stood in the bank line felt while she watched the white boy run and play in the bank. I suspect she felt a number of emotions. She felt fear of the consequences she might receive from disobeying her mother, shame from the curious looks of her white peers, anger at not being able to move about freely. Without explicitly saying so, the black mother sent a message to her children, and the message was, little white children can safely run and play, but you cannot because it is not okay or safe for you. These experiences teach black children that somehow the world does not belong to black boys and girls, but it does belong to the little white children. Eventually, the teller became available and the black mother approached the counter. This was the perfect time for the little black girl to escape. Oh, I remember my great escapes. She began sliding down the length of the counter, hidden from her mother's sight because she was just small enough to fit underneath the overarching counter. It was then that the black little girl felt free to explore, a natural tendency for children at her developmental stage. But she was faced with another dilemma. There was another black mother waiting in the line that saw her down beneath the counter and out of her mother's vision. Then the other black mother did something that is all too familiar for African-American children. She gave the little attempted escapee the black mother death stare, and she gestured with a slight move of her head for her to return to her mother's side. You know what I'm talking about, that look, that gesture. The little black girl immediately recognized the signal, looked defeated, lowered her head, and reluctantly returned to her mother's side. The black woman in the line smiled contentedly because she had successfully assisted the black mother by non-verbally reinforcing the unspoken rule that little black children cannot move about and stray. This was not a place for them to explore. Moreover, it is a world that belongs to the little white boys and girls and those like them who freely and contentedly may stroll about banks and other places of importance, oblivious to any possible restraint or limitations that may be imposed upon them. Again, that was from Dr. Joy DeGru's book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing. Let me give you one thing as I close out. Let me give you just one thing. Beautiful story, sad but beautiful. Let me give you one thing about tonight, give you one thing to think about tonight concerning rebuilding the black family and the black child. Are you ready for this? This is probably where I have made some of the greatest mistakes as a father, some of the greatest mistakes as a black man, and learn from my mistakes. And I'm sure there are others who will say, learn from their mistakes. You ready for it? Let black kids be kids. Let them explore the world. I ain't talking about tearing places up and swinging from the chandeliers, but let them be kids. Let them explore and have fun. It was so traumatizing, and we'll get into this another day, when I had to have the conversation with my son about being a black man driving an automobile in America. The talk, as it has been coined, when I had to have the talk with him. But I want to share with you, let your children be children. Let them touch and run and explore and see the world. This is their world. This is their country. They have every right as anybody else to be curious at 2 and 3 and 4 years old. They have every right in the world to want to know how textures feel and about how this looks and how that works and how everything in the world is arranged. They have the right to be curious and to want to see and to understand and to explore and to grow. And don't take that innocence from them. For 400 years, we have had to hide and creep and crawl and try to be the invisible man. Even though you're a black face in a sea of white faces, try to be the invisible man. Let children be children. Let black kids be kids. That's my admonition to you. I'm going to pick up more about that, about how we let our kids be kids and other things that we can do to build up our black children as we move forward. But I want to give you that one last tidbit. Let Black kids be kids. You got it? All right. So glad that you joined us tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and check out our website and see all the other things that are going on with Unboxed. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening. Until then, have a good night.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.